between a broken society and a thriving one is the presence of women who are valued. Michelle Obama. Michelle has talked about major roles of women in the society and how the presence of women is important to human growth. During an interview with Michelle Obama against Tracy Ross, Michelle brings up the inequality of failure between men and women. A little bit about Michelle Obama. She's an advocate for education and women. We know we've seen campaigns on TV about her meal plan and how school lunches, even though that's not really related to education. And then she's also put out a video about the commencement of the class of 2020 and how they should be proud of themselves even though they went through all the COVID stuff. Her career paths include being an advocate. She's an attorney and an author. FLOTUS stands for First Lady of the United States, but she is also the former first African American First Lady, and family plays a really big role in her life. Where and when this speech was given was at the United States of Women's Summit Conference in 2018 in Los Angeles. And what is this conference? It is a conference that amplifies issues in gender injustice and holds unique positions in the gender equity movement. And I have a few clips from the speech, so bear with me as I have to try and click through them all.
About using your voice, standing up for something. And I'm curious if you remember the first time that you used your voice, or that you couldn't be an innocent bystander.
An equal? Okay, let's talk.
So there's a lot of talk about using your voice, standing up for something. And I'm curious if you remember the first time that you used your voice, or that you couldn't be an innocent bystander. Like, you had to speak up, and what it was that gave you the courage to do that, and what it felt like.
You know, there were so many of those instances because I was that little kid. I was the bossy little kid, and I was fortunate enough to have parents who appreciated my opinions and my voice from a very early age. And I say that to parents out there, you know, how do you start teaching voice? You teach it young by listening and asking your child questions and hearing their opinion. And, you know, you can't, and equal to my brother. You know, my dad taught me to box right along with my brother. He got me my little set of boxing gloves, and I was punching out my cousins, and we were right there in it. When he taught my brother how to throw, he taught me how to throw. It's little things like that, but the thing about it is, Tracy, which is what we have to remember, little kids remember all those good points of input, but they remember the bad too.
Yeah.
I wish that girls could fail as bad as men do and be okay. Because let me tell you, watching men fail up, it is frustrating.
Very frustrating.
It is frustrating to see a lot of men blow it and win. And we hold ourselves to these crazy, crazy standards. We hold each other to these standards. And
So I chose that first clip because we have learned that if we don't teach our kids to be vocal with one another and speak up for themselves, that they're not going to have any growth towards the society as they grow up. And the second clip is really going off base of the entire title of this speech, is that when her brother got boxing gloves, she also got them, so she really believed in equality between the two. The significance from then to now, being vocal was a really hard thing for women to do back in 2018. They were struggling with having an opinion and being open with people, and now with all the protests going on, we see that women are being a lot more vocal with one another. The hashtag #MeToo movement was a movement about sexual assault among women, and it was important because during protests, people would hold up signs that said #MeToo, like, I've been there, I'm a woman, I've been there, I've been in that situation, and it's significant now because people are being open about it if they feel comfortable. And the last thing is making mistakes. we learn from our mistakes, and it's good for personal growth. Michelle Obama uses ethos, pathos, and logos in her speech. First, she uses ethos. She establishes credibility to Barack and all he's done for the women's movement. Pathos, she makes some comments in the first and last clip I showed you. You could hear the crowd in the back cheering. She just creates an emotional pathway to her audience. And logo, she uses logic with questions of why should we be vocal, why should we have an opinion, why should we be open about what we're talking about. Rhetorical devices she uses amplification. The quote was, "What we didn't get was yes we can, it was more of yes you can instead of yes we can." She really vocalizes about how yes, us as women, we can do it, we can do this, we can do that. She uses hypophora. She asks the question and then answers it right away. She says, "Are we doing that? Are we as women a part of this problem? Some women can't even speak up at their own dinner table." And she answers it with, "Yes, we as women are the problem. Why there's no personal growth in our society." And simile is a little different in this situation. She uses a comparison between men and women when she says, the last quote that I showed you in the video was, "I wish we could fail as badly as men do." And then the summary and why it will endure. Michelle brings to light many problems in today's society, as I've talked about, and she really drives home the point of it's okay to be vocal, it's okay to voice your opinion. You need to have a voice. You need to make sure everybody, like if you don't have an opinion or you don't be vocal, you have no say in what really happens. And the last point was we're better off to have opinions because then it's, you have a say in what society does. And thank you for listening to our speech.